Hi, I'm attorney Tom Lamb in North Carolina. In this Asbestos News Minute, I want to tell you about what is expected in asbestos litigation for the year 2009. By way of background, the first asbestos personal injury lawsuit in the United States was filed approximately 40 years ago. The asbestos litigation, at least in the number of claims filed, peaked in the year 2002 when approximately 80,000 lawsuits were initiated on behalf of workers and their families. By contrast, in the year 2008, only 5,000 new claims were filed, and approximately 2,000 of those involved the fatal cancer mesothelioma, sometimes called mesothelioma, and sometimes even short term for that would be meso or meso, M-E-S-O. How to explain the difference in the filing numbers between 2002 at 80,000 and 2008 at 5,000? That's a good question, but it can be explained by a couple of developments. Number one is, in certain states there was tort reform, or so-called tort reform legislation passed, which made it impossible for the cases involving unimpaired asbestos disease claims, that is, those involving pleural plaques or asbestosis that did not have any breathing difficulties associated with it, from getting to a courtroom. What they did was they created inactive dockets, putting those cases on the sidelines. And with that done, lawyers for workers and their families had no reason to file cases that could not move towards getting legal compensation for the worker and families, and those cases in large part have fallen by the wayside. It is the cancer cases, either lung cancer, esophageal cancer, and as I mentioned, most dramatic form of asbestos cancer being mesothelioma, that have continued to make their way forward in the court system and to trial on some occasions. Again, in 2008, 5,000 new claims were filed. Of those, 2,000 were mesothelioma cases. And of course, it takes a while for a case to get to trial, but just to kind of show you how those cases might play out, in the entire year 2008, there were only approximately 40 asbestos trials that reached a jury verdict. That's right, 40. So what happens to the other cases that were filed? Most often they settle. They settle with the bankruptcy trust, and they settle with the defendants who are still amenable to suit in the court system. I'm going to focus on the mesothelioma cases. The mesothelioma cases that go to jury verdict had an average legal compensation payment of about $7 million. The cases that settled short of going to a jury verdict had a average value of about $2 million. The asbestos-related lung cancer and mesothelioma claims are projected to remain steady over the years until, well, they're going to remain steady the next several years, and there will be cases filed, it is expected, up until about 2050. Now, as we move further away from the time when asbestos was used in and around the workplace, the number of cancer cases will be diminished, but there will still be cases arising because of the long latency or delay period between the exposure and the onset of asbestos-related lung cancer or mesothelioma. Those claims arise in two populations. The primary population are the workers who were around the asbestos products. People who worked with or around asbestos products, breathed in the dust, there on the job site, are the traditional plaintiffs in these asbestos cases. A new increasing number of cases, however, involves family members of those workers, and those cases are often referred to as secondhand exposure cases. For example, the wife of a worker, washes the worker's clothes when he comes home at night, gets dust in her face, breathes it in, and many years later is diagnosed with mesothelioma. Another example, a child of the worker. Dad comes home, child gives dad a hug every evening, puts her face right there in the dusty clothing that he returned home in, and that young woman is diagnosed with mesothelioma 30, 40 years later. So in summary, we have a reduced number of claims filed in 2008. That was 5,000. We expect about the same number in 2009, and just as in 2008, we expect about 40% of those to be mesothelioma cases that most often will settle, but some will go on to trial, and those cases often do get paid significantly more. But the reason the defendants take some cases to trial is in hopes of prevailing based on defenses such as lack of product identification or lack of medical causation. For more information, visit asbestoslegalwatch.com. Thank you and have a good day.